Hi everyone, it's Radhika. Welcome back to my YouTube channel DataZad. Today we are going to be solving Workout Wednesday 2022 Week 10 challenge, which is around creating a risk matrix using a custom visual. If you have not subscribed to my channel, then please do consider subscribing as I don't want you to miss out on any future videos. And without further ado, let's get into our Power BI desktop. Data for today's challenge comes from data.world website. I have already downloaded the data and it is in the form of CSV file. So I'll go to get data and click on text by CSV and select the CSV files that I have downloaded. There are two files. So I will click on open for this one. And here I will click on transform data. And in the Power Query editor, I will again go to new sources to get the second file. So I'll again go to new sources and text and CSV and get the second file. And I'll click on open. Now there are a few transformations that are required. So I will be doing all these transformations in here. First, we need to append these two queries. So for that, I'll go to home and click on append queries and choose append queries as new. In here, I will select my first table and then my second table and I will click on OK. I will rename this as data. And in here, we first need to exclude the claims which are other than F. So I will get all the list and from here only select F and click on OK. Now we need to get the claims which are in 2021. So for that I will just duplicate this column and I will split this column by a delimiter which is slash and then I will click on OK. And now I don't need this column, so I'll remove this column. I don't need this column, so I'll remove this one as well. And from this column, we only need the 2021 values. So I'll untick the 2020 checkbox and click on OK. This one is our year, and that's what we have selected. I'm doing all these transformations because that's what it is given in the challenge. So I'm doing them one by one. Now, the next thing that we need to do is group the causes. So I'll right click on cause and choose group by. We need to group by cause but have to create multiple columns, so I'll go to advanced settings and in here I will call this total claims. That will be equal to the row counts. We are counting how many claims for pothole are there, and we also need total cost, and for that I'm using sum operation and we need to sum the paid PD column and I'll click on OK. Now that we have these two things, the next thing that we need to find is cost per claim. Add granularity. So for that, I will go to add column, custom column, and all we need to do is divide the total cost by the total number of claims and click on OK. I will just rename this column as cost per claim. And now it is not explicitly mentioned in the challenge that we have to create claim risk and cost risk, but that is what will be required when we create the other table, which is the risk table. So it is given in the challenge. I'll just bring the challenge over here. It is given in the challenge how we need to decide the claim risk and cost risk. So when the cost is more than $2,000 per claim, then it is high. When it is more than $500, it is two, which is medium. And when it is more than just $0, between 0 and 500, then it is one. So I'm going to use this logic to create cost risk and claim risk for our data. So I'll add a conditional column and I will call this claim risk. So for claim risk, we have to see when the total claims is greater than 10, then our risk is 3. When the total claims is greater than 2, then the risk is 2. Otherwise, we will say it's 1, which is low. And then I'll click on OK. Similarly, we can create another conditional column for the cost risk. So for cost risk, we are going to choose cost per claim. If it is greater than 2000, then it is 3. If the cost per claim is greater than 500, then it is 2. Otherwise, it is 1. And I'll click on OK. So we have now claim risk and cost risk, and we're going to use this for merging the queries later on. Next, we need to create another table, which is this table. So I'm going to use the enter data function. So now I'll go to home and click on enter data and put in the custom table. I will call this risk, and the first column is cost risk, and these ones will be for the claim risk 1, 2, and 3. Cost risk again would be 1, 2, and 3. For 1, 1 it is low, for 1, 2 again it is low, and 1, 3 it is medium. This one is low. I'm just creating this table exactly as what is given in the challenge. And then high, and this one is medium, this one is high, and again another high. And now I'll click on OK to get this table. Now it is given in the challenge that we need to get the combinations like 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and this can clearly be easily done using unpivoting it. So I'll right click on this column and click on unpivot other columns, and this will give us those combinations that are required. Let us quickly rename these. So this one is claim risk because that's what these values represent. And this one has to be renamed as overall risk as per challenge. Now we need to combine these two values in a single column. Let me first just change the value to type text. And let us go to add column, custom column. And for concatenation, it's easy. We just do claim risk and then add ampersand and then cost risk and click on OK. So we have this custom column, and we can call it risk code. And now we can simply do merge. So go to home, click on merge queries, and we add merge queries. We need to merge this risk by the data table that we have created by appending these two queries. Now, the columns that we need to choose are the cost risk and claim risk, and that's why I've created them in here, cost risk and claim risk. So I'll select cost risk, then press on control and select claim risk. And similarly here also I'll first select the cost risk and then press on control and click the claim risk. So cost risk is number 1, claim risk is number 2, and we have to do left outer join as that's what given in the challenge. And I'll click on OK. Now we just need to expand this, and while expanding we don't want this claim risk and cost risk. We only want these 4 columns, and I'll click on OK. Let us just edit this. We don't want any prefix, so I'll just remove this and click on OK. Now that this is done, all our transformations are applied, and now I'll click on close and apply. Now I have downloaded the PNG file from this link, and I will go to this synoptic.design and upload that PNG file. So I'll browse and get the file. Now all we need to do is we just need to define these areas. So this is 1, 1, then 1, 2, 1, 3. This one is 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3. And this one is 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3, 3. Once we mark these up, we just have to export these to Power BI and save this as PNG. So I'll right click and save it as SVG, sorry. So I'll right click, save image as SVG. And now I'll go to Power BI and let us get the custom visual first. So get more visuals and we get synoptic panel by OKViz. I'll click on add to add this visual into my Power BI desktop. And once this is done, let us get this visual. In here, we need to get I forgot to disable the load for these ones. So let us go to transform data and disable the load as we do not want the rest of the tables to load into our Power BI desktop. So I'll right click on the files that I do not want to load into Power BI desktop and click on enable load to disable it. So when I do it, this enable load tick is gone. I'll do the same for the rest of them as well. And untick for this one, click on continue, and I'll close and apply. Now in category, we need to get the risk code. I did it for the wrong one. So let's go back. We do not want the load for this one, but we want the load for the risk one because that's where we have got all the data. And now I'll click on close and apply. Now we get the risk code in category. There are, if we look at the data, there are a few causes which have blank in it. So we need to exclude them. And for that, we'll have to use a custom measure. So I'll click on a new measure and call this non-blank count. That will be equal to if this is blank. So we need to write the condition, calculate the distinct count of cause where this is not blank, where the cause is not blank. So what we are doing is we are getting the distinct count of cause where the cause is not blank. If this is blank, if this value comes out as blank, then we want 0. Otherwise, we want this value to be displayed. So I'll just copy this and paste it here in the else condition. Now we are going to get this non-blank count in our measure. And then we need to select our SVG file that we have created. So let's go to local maps and get our SVG file and click on open. And when we do that, let me close this measure and go to settings. And in data labels, we can see that if we look at the data value and increase the font to let's say 30, then we can see the data values for all of these combinations. Now we need to color code this risk matrix, and to do that we'll have to create another measure because currently our overall risk is a text value and it will be hard to set the colors like that because these only take numeric values. And to do that, it's an easy thing using a switch function. Let's create a new measure, call it overall risk number, and we can just use switch true when the overall minimum of overall risk is equal to 1, sorry, is equal to low, then we want 1. And I'll just copy this. When the minimum is medium, then we do 2. Otherwise, we do 3, which is for high. And let's close this bracket. Now we're going to bring this overall risk number in state measure And then we say when this is equal to, when the state value is 1, then we choose a green color. I'll choose any green color. Then when the state value is 2, then we need this yellow color. And let us get a less bright color. This one looks better. And when the state value is 3, then we get this red color. So now we have color coded it. We can just turn off the title as we don't need that. And we turn off the title. Next, we need a bar chart. So for that, I'll select this bar chart. In this bar chart, we want cost in y-axis, then cost per claim in x-axis, and this should be sum. This is not getting a sum because currently it is a text value. So we'll just convert this into a decimal number, fixed decimal number or a decimal number, either of them. And then once that is done, we can choose sum operation. And then we need to color code this by overall risk. And again, for overall risk, we need to change the color coding. So let's go to bars, and for high, we want this red. For low, we want a green color, which is this one. And for medium, we want this yellow color. And then we want a scatter plot. So let's get a scatter plot. And in this one, again, we get cause in values. So let's get cause here. Cost per claim in x-axis, but this time the cost per claim is not a sum but an average value. So let's get the average. And average count of the clauses, which is the count of the causes, which is total claims in y-axis, again as an average value. And then we need to color code this again via overall risk. So let's get overall risk. And the sum of total cost would decide the size. For these ones, we don't want the x-axis title and the y-axis title, so I'll just turn that off. Lastly, we just need to change these colors to match the color coding used in the other visuals. So let's go to markers, and in here for high, we'll choose this red color. For low, we choose this green color. And for medium, we have this yellow color. And this is how the final visual looks like. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one.